So let's start off with the worst part of 2020. I mean, like, I don't know. It sucked. Didn't work out. So all I can do is just move on. It's hard, but it's just something I have to do. Hey everyone, it's me, Katie. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. So this is my first video of 2021. I decided to take a 2-week break. I'm refreshed and I'm ready for 2021. So a year ago, I posted a video called How My 2019 Went Q&A, and I basically talked about my 2019 and also answered just a bunch of random questions, and I decided to do that video again, but instead I'll be talking about my 2020. So the only difference between last year's video and this year's video is that I'll be talking about 2020 instead of 2019, and I won't have ring light glares in my glasses this time. So I asked on my Instagram story for my followers to ask me questions, more specific questions relating to my 2020, but I'm also going to be, answering other questions too. So thank you to everyone who asked me questions for this Q&A. If you didn't get a chance to ask me questions, that's probably because you're not following me on Instagram, so you should do that. It's at CaitlinLiz04, and all my social medias are always in the description box down below. Favorite TikToker? I get this question all the time on my TikTok and on my Instagram. I personally actually don't have a favorite TikToker. I follow 70 people, and those are my favorite TikTokers to watch. I don't have a favorite. I feel like a lot of people have a favorite, and I'm just one of those few people that don't have a favorite TikToker. I like so many people, I just can't choose one. This next question is interesting. Would you ever date someone who already has children? I never thought of this ever, but I wouldn't say no, because why wouldn't I date someone just because they have children? I love kids. Just because, I meet somebody and they already have kids doesn't mean I won't date them. Next question is, have you ever met someone famous? If so, who? I did meet someone famous one time, and this is a, day I will never forget. So quick story time, in November 2017, I met Mur from Impractical Jokers, and if you don't know what that show is, Are You Living Under a Rock? It's on True TV. It's such a funny show, but I met Mur, and I went to New York City with my dad, my brother's friend, and my brother's friend's dad, and we saw the Impractical Jokers live show in New York City at Madison Square Garden. And before we went to the show, we went to McDonald's, and after McDonald's, we were walking to the show, and we were just walking the streets of New York, and there he was, Mur, just walking the streets. I was basically starstruck because this was the first time I ever met a celebrity. I just didn't know what to say because I always watch him on TV, and to see him in person, it was just crazy. So we took selfies with him on the street, and it was just a crazy experience, and it's something I will never forget because he's the first celebrity I ever met. Do you have a tattoo? No, I don't have a tattoo, and I have been the type of person to just always say that I don't want a tattoo ever. That might change. If I were to get a tattoo, it would definitely be something memorable because I have a feeling I would regret it if I got something stupid. And also, I wouldn't get something big. It would be something small and dainty, and I could hide it somehow. Not that I would hide it from people. It's just it would be easy to cover up. It wouldn't be I don't know. I can't picture myself with huge, giant tattoos. I can't. Can you whistle? Nope. I can't. I wish I could. I try all the time. I just can't, and I really wish I could sometimes. Starbucks order. My Starbucks order, I have multiple Starbucks orders, but my main Starbucks order is probably a pink drink. I get that a lot. Are you a comfy or fancy person? 100,000,000%. That's not even a number, but definitely a comfy person. I hate wearing fancy stuff. I hate wearing dresses and heels and all that. No. I'm a sweatpants and hoodie person. Literally right now I'm wearing a hoodie and pajama pants, but you can't see them because that's the part that you don't see. Favorite fast food? Definitely Chick-fil-A, 100%. So good. I really want Chick-fil-A now. Boyfriend? Nope, still single. What about a dog? Still no on the dog, but maybe soon. Hopefully soon. Alright, so now are the 2020 questions that I'm going to answer. First couple questions, what was the best moment of it and the worst moment of it? And I'm gonna try to not make these answers to these questions super long. I'm probably gonna end up making them really long because I could talk a long time without realizing. So let's start off with the worst part of 2020. 2020 was a roller coaster of a year. I feel like we can all agree about that. It was one of the longest years and fastest years I've ever experienced. And I feel like if you experienced 2020, which we all have, you know what I mean by that. Definitely COVID was the worst part of my 2020. There were a lot of bad parts, but I feel like the coronavirus was everybody's least favorite part of 2020. There was a lot of bad things going on in the world, but I just feel like the coronavirus on top of it just made everything horrible. The coronavirus was something none of us have ever experienced. I mean, I've never experienced something like this, and it was really hard to get used to it, but now the coronavirus is our new normal, and the masks and everything like that, that's just part of our lives now. In the beginning, it was weird. It felt embarrassing and awkward to wear one in public. Now it is a part of our lives, and not wearing one in public is strange, you know? Like, I always wear one in public, but if I were to not wear it, it would feel completely weird. Like, I can't remember what it feels like to not wear a mask in public. I just don't remember the last time I didn't wear a mask, like, in a store. I don't remember. The masks were really hard for me to get used to because I like couldn't breathe because it was like different, like cloth around your face. It just was so different, and it would fog up my glasses. But now, months and months later, I'm so used to the masks now. It's like not an issue. Also, just social distancing sucked. It felt so weird, like not being able to hug and be like with your family and your friends and just distancing yourself from them. It just felt so weird, like it just didn't feel right, social distancing. And I mean, like, I don't know, it sucked. And also a lot of things were ruined this year because of coronavirus, you know, and that made a big impact in my year. Usually every single year I go to Wildwood with my family, and we went for a day instead of a week because of COVID, and we go to North Carolina. We have been going for the past 2 years, and it was fun and all, but there was a lot of stuff that we couldn't do because of COVID. So now the best moment of 2020, the best part of it. I mean, there were a lot of good parts of 2020, but obviously I can't talk about all of them because then this video will be really long. Well, starting off in January of 2020, I graduated the school that I went to, my broadcasting school. I haven't been there in a while because of COVID, but hopefully I will return soon once everything starts calming down and with the vaccine out. Hopefully coronavirus, you know, closes, shuts down, but we obviously don't know when that will happen. There's no date, sadly. Also, I gained a lot of followers on TikTok in 2020. It was a big accomplishment for me, and it was something I never, ever expected, ever. Like, I'm at almost 450,000 followers. I never expected that, ever. In January 2020, I reached 100K. Then in April 2020, I reached 200K. Then I believe in September, I reached 300K. And then in November, I reached 400K, which is beyond crazy to me. I never thought in a million years I would have that many followers on a social media app, but I do. And I also had like great moments with my friends and my family in 2020. In the beginning of 2020, I couldn't see my friends and my family, but towards the middle and the end of 2020, I got to see them more, which, you know, was good. And I don't know, I just made really great memories with them. Obviously, there's so many that I can't even say, but definitely my friends and my family made my 2020. What do you look forward to in 2021? Well, nothing specific, but I definitely hope that the coronavirus calms down and it's not as chaotic as it was last year. And again, like I said earlier, with the vaccine out, I really hope that, you know, things start getting better. All I wish is that 2020... Did I really just say 2020? All I wish is that 2020 is a safe and healthy and happy year, but I don't know, it just started, so can't really say anything about it yet. Would you have done anything different in 2020? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that I could have done differently in 2020. I can't think of specific things, but I know there are things that I could have done differently in 2020. Was 2020 a good year for you? I definitely wouldn't say it was a good year. It wasn't the best year at all. I mean, I definitely had better years. I'm hoping 2021 is a way better year than 2020. What would you change about yourself for 2021? Which is a really good question. I feel like I make the same mistakes over and over, and I should probably stop doing that. I know everybody makes mistakes, but to keep making the same mistakes over and over is just not good. And also, not worrying about every little thing is something that I need to change, because I worry about a lot of stuff and I get really anxious and stuff. So let's hope in 2021 I'm not super anxious and worried about every single thing. What are you most proud of doing in 2020? I already said this earlier, but I'm really proud of the following growth I made on TikTok. I still can't believe I'm at 400,000 followers. I gained 400,000 in 1 year. Also, I'm really proud of myself for graduating my college. Even though it was only a couple month course, I'm still really proud of myself and the grades that I got in the class, and I really liked it there. Did you learn something from 2020? I definitely learned a lot of things in 2020. One of the things is not all friendships are meant to last forever. I've known that for a while, but it seems like every year I lose at least one friend, and it's just something that happens in life. It sucks, but not all friendships are meant to last. In 2020, I lost friends, I regained old friendships, and then I lost those friendships again. And I feel like if you lose a friendship multiple times, you're probably not meant to be friends with that person. And losing friendships is something that, really sucks, especially if I was really close to that person and just you're not friends anymore, you don't talk anymore. It really hurts me, and it's something I really can't get over right away. And no matter how many times I say that I'm fine, sometimes I'm not, and it takes a while for me to, move past, not being friends with somebody anymore. Not everyone is meant to be in your life. Even if they're in your life for years and that friendship ends, everything happens for a reason. That's something that I go by. And yeah. Like, obviously, I wanted, a certain friendship to work out, but it didn't. Tried multiple times, and it just didn't work out. So all I can do is just move on. It's hard, but it's just something I have to do. How was being home essentially for a whole year, and did it change you in any way? I definitely think that 2020 changed me, but in a good way. I certainly feel like I'm a little different than I was, before COVID and in 2019. I feel like I'm changing for the better and changing, for myself, not for others. And it definitely felt weird, staying home a lot of the times. It just felt weird because there was a point where I never left the house for like a whole month, and it just felt extremely weird. And that was like something I never ever did before. It was just so weird, and I feel like definitely like the whole like coronavirus definitely changed me, but I'm changing for myself and not for others, and definitely in a good way, I feel. What was the worst thing that happened besides COVID? Now, earlier I said that COVID was really the main part of what made my 2020 like really bad. COVID made everybody's 2020 bad. There was a lot of things that happened, some things don't want to share, but I feel like losing the friendships that I had and just like was a bad part. But I feel like it was bad, but also the best thing that I could have done, because staying in a bad friendship isn't worth it. Also, another bad part was not seeing my family as much. On Christmas, every single year I go to my grandma's, but this year we didn't because of COVID, and it felt so weird, but it was the right thing to do. It just felt really weird because this was my first time my whole entire life I did not go to my grandma's for Christmas. It just felt weird not seeing my family. I stayed home. It just felt weird, but it was definitely the right thing to do. And the last question in this Q&A is, what kept you motivated in 2020? I definitely would say my family and my best friend Jack kept me motivated in 2020. They were always there for me, and it meant a lot. And I'm so very lucky to have a best friend like Jack who is always there for me. Like, I really am so thankful for her every single day. She knows that we have been friends for almost 3 years. In April, it will be 3 years since we've been friends, which is crazy to say because it feels like we've been friends for so much longer. We have so many memories, and I feel like I lost so many friends in the past, and I'm just so worried about like losing her. I know I won't, but I feel like it's just something that it's just like a feeling I always have that I'm going to lose her as a friend, because I've lost so many friends in the past that I thought I was going to be friends with forever. So it's just something I definitely like worry about, even though I know I'm not going to. It's just a feeling that I always have, and she's my best friend, and I wouldn't want anyone else to be my best friend because she's always there for me. She always makes me laugh, and even though we haven't been friends for that long, it feels like we've been friends forever, and that's what I like about our friendship. Like when we first became friends, we became friends through a mutual friend we're no longer friends with, and I have to thank that friend I'm no longer friends with, because without her, I wouldn't be friends with Jack. And in the beginning, we were awkward, we weren't really close, and now we are extremely close, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Alright guys, so that was my Q&A, how my 2020 went. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below some video ideas you want to see in 2021. Make sure you subscribe, turn on my notifications, follow all my social medias in the description box down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!